You have to be able to dribble with your head up, or things like this happen.
Mustafa inbounds the ball. Number 4 dumps it off, catches it outright. Burton beats it to the wing. The game is tied after that bucket. Quite green. We're all tied up 56. Kennesaw State needs to cut down on the turnovers. And Tracy is near their bench. Tracy?
Coach Engel stood in front of the bench a moment ago and said, if we can't hold on to the ball any better than this, there is no way we can win this game. Guys, he's trying to get his message across loud and clear.
Thanks, Tracy. About 3.5 minutes left in the half. Mustafa raises up. Mustafa gets the rebound.
That's what I call a little intimidation.
Didn't go up strong enough, and you saw the result. Leads him in. Takes the shot. The jumper was buried by Lewis. They now lead by 4. Green inbounds the ball. Number 4 brings it up court.
They're going to try to disrupt the flow of the offense with this half-court trap.
And it's picked up by Kennesaw State. Number 22 is tagged with the reach. They're in the bonus here, so that's 1-1. Both teams are making substitutions. Knocks down the first one. Gets the second to fall as well. 2:57 left in the first half. Right wing. Number 5 goes up. The bucket is good. He'll have a chance for one more.
Triple people to absorb the contact, hang in the air, and hit the shot. Pretty, Vern.
No good. And they don't get the three-point play. Harris. Spencer has it inside. Number 5 reels it in.
The situation called for a kick out. The D was just too solid inside.
Last basket on the night by number 50. Harris inbounds the ball. Hit, but it's recovered by Hooker. From in close, the shot was knocked down by number 2. They increase their lead to 4. 2:06 left in the first half. Number 4 for 3. Shoots it. The inside shot buried by number 50. But they still trail by 2. Lewis way up court. The Owls turn this one over out of bounds.
They were just out of sync on that one. The pass went one way, and he went the other.
They couldn't get it in time, and that is a 5-second violation.
Got to put the ball somewhere, Vern. If you just do your best imitation of a street lamp, you'll get the call, and they'll get the ball anyway.
Lewis, nice little crossover. Stolen by number 5.
Things just get so cramped up inside, Vern, that taking those dump-off passes can be really difficult.
Come along and throw your cares away. We're really glad that you're our friend, and this is a friendship
Makes the
that will
first.
never ever end. If you're feeling low,
He's off on the second. Number 5 gets it up. Almost a 3-point opportunity. Instead, he'll go to the line for 3.
you're our friend, and this is a friendship that will never ever end.
Can't get the first. Number 5 didn't sit for long, and he's coming back into the ball game. Good on number 2. Harris in inbounds the ball.
Wow, these fans are going nuts, Vern. Could this building get any louder?
Unloads. The tray was missed by Lewis. And it's still all tied up 64. That last long distance ball. No good by 0.
That's just ridiculous, Vern. You don't even take shots like that in a pickup game.
Dumps it inside.
The Coastal Carolina coach saw something out there. He wants to make some adjustment. He burned his time out to get his players' attention.
If you're feeling lonely today, come along and throw your cares away. We're really glad that you're our friend, and this is a friendship that'll never ever end.
Going on, guys, it is WrestleMania here, back with another video. WrestleMania 37's second night began with the highly anticipated rematch between Randy Orton and The Fiend. As we'll see, the match featured a bizarre finish with the Viper
Number 50
surprising
inbounds the ball.
Universe
1:12 left in the first half. 0 goes up.
One
Up in the air. And we're now all tied up 66. Number 4 gets called for the reach. We're in the bonus.
I've been
We'll
hit that
go to the
notification
line
bell
for
for
one
daily
more.
wrestling
The
videos.
Chanticleer.
Facebook
We'll get a few starters back out on the floor. He makes the first.
Highly competitive. Randy will be dishing out lots of punishment, including 3 apron DDTs. The Fiend shrugging it off as always. However, the match ended when Alexa Bliss emerged from the Jack in the Box with a black outfit and a crown of thorns on her head. Black liquid oozed from Bliss's head as the turnbuckles erupted with fire. And capitalize on the distraction, giving the RKO for the 1-2-3. Boos erupted throughout the Raymond James Stadium. It's curious as to why the WWE booked it this way. No one seems to know why they went with this dizzying decision. And there are several reasons. Number 1, Alexa's turning heel. And as odd as it may seem, Alexa Bliss may be going into business for herself as the student becomes the master, going from being the Fiend's disciple into his master. It may seem bizarre, but the WWE had Bliss utilizing many uncanny powers of late while fans awaited the Fiend's return, including the fireball she used on Randy Orton, as well as the various stunts employed during her match against Orton at Fastlane. This could be an interesting twist as Bliss controls the Fiend, perhaps using him to do her bidding, and sending him against Raw's babyfaces. Number 2, there's a new supernatural menace. And while this should be treated as a long shot, the WWE could be setting things up for another supernatural superstar to show up and challenge the Fiend. But truth be told, as well received as the Fiend's character is, he's difficult to book against traditional WWE superstars, and having him fight another wrestler with arcane abilities will prove a good mix. However, if done wrong, it could not only backfire, but the Fiend's character, as he could lose some of the qualities that make him so unique. Number 3, the mercurial Mr. McMahon. As scary as it may sound, fans can't rule out Mr. McMahon's well-known mercurial moves when it comes to last-minute changes to television shows and big pay-per-views. He'll likely recall the many rumors of Vince McMahon wanting to make WrestleMania 37 nothing less than the greatest WrestleMania of all time. One way to do it is by surprising the fans by taking likely finishes and changing things up. Here, the Fiend returned from being set on fire, and it was all but guaranteed that he would defeat Randy in a rematch. Vince being Vince, though, fans knew he made a last-second call to have him go over. Does it make sense? Well, no, but it was a surprise. In Vinnie Mac's mind, a surprise is a surprise, even if it's a nonsensical one. Number 4, the WWE wants to depower the Fiend. The Fiend is a powerful character who's been shown as capable of absorbing incredible amounts of punishment and going on to win, unless of course his opponent happens to be Goldberg, but it's a situation the WWE may have decided to rethink. Now don't get us wrong, I don't think that the WWE is going to have The Fiend becoming a mid-card talent, but they may have realized they've painted themselves into a corner by having The Fiend depicted as invulnerable. It's arguable that the WWE is going with the idea that The Fiend lost some of his power when he returned from being immolated, which might explain why Randy Orton was able to pin him with just one RKO. Number 5, he's Randy freaking Orton. As odd as it may seem, the WWE may want to give Randy Orton a clean win over The Fiend simply to keep the Viper positioned as a top-tier main eventer. There are a number of reasons, including going after Bobby Lashley, Randy even jumping to SmackDown to resume his feud with Edge, or even go after Roman Reigns. Number 6, the WWE wants to extend the Orton versus Fiend feud. Randy Orton's win could also be a way of the WWE continuing his feud with The Fiend. The Fiend is a popular character. We feel that the two Titans have at least one more match left in their program. This could lead to Orton and The Fiend having a cinematic match or a stipulation match to close out their feud. If they do continue the feud, there absolutely has to come up with an explanation that makes sense for tonight's finish, one that doesn't insult the fans' intelligence. Undoubtedly, that's a tall order for the WWE's creative team. Number 7, the WWE wants fans to tune into Raw. No one seems to know what happened at the end of the match, and perhaps that's by design. Then again, this is the same promotion that seems to have booked a Nigerian drum fight without using any drums. They want fans to tune into Raw and discover what caused Alexa Bliss to have a meltdown, literally and figuratively. The problem with trying to understand the WWE's reasons for having Randy Orton go over is that they provided no clues as to what happened at the end of the match, with Alexa Bliss costing The Fiend the match, either inadvertently or unintentionally. Unless the WWE follows the match's cinematic ending with an intelligent explanation, it will go down as one of the biggest duds in WrestleMania history. But there you have it, guys, our analysis of the 7 reasons The Fiend lost to Randy Orton clean. Do you agree with the WWE's questionable decision to have The Fiend lose? Let us know. What's going on, guys? It is WrestleMania here, back with some more news. Join us now as we look at the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including CM Punk names potential opponents for a wrestling return, Bo Dallas with Alexa Bliss, why Lance Storm had to turn off Mania's triple threat match, why Edge was crying at WrestleMania, Charlotte is trolled about her appearance, and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Now let's hit the intro and get straight into the first story.
He's shooting 60% for the game. Hooker.
Our first story looks at CM Punk talking a wrestling return and possible opponents. But while CM Punk has been busy with a number of projects outside of pro wrestling,
pulls the trigger.
Turned towards a possible ring return. Recently, Uproxx's Raj Prashad interviewed Punk about his appearance in Jacob's wife and asked under what conditions Punk might return to wrestling. I think the right combination could be maybe figured out. It's also not hard to figure out. It's not my world anymore. I'm certainly not Hulk Hogan, where I'm going to show up somewhere and like, no, this is how it's going to be. The wrestling world doesn't necessarily need CM Punk, and that's absolutely fine. Everyone seems to be doing great. I don't know, it's like flavors of ice cream. Walk into an ice cream shop and I'm like, oh, that seems like a good flavor, give me 2 scoops of that. It's just got to be the right time, the right place, the right situation. Punk doesn't seem to be in a hurry to return to the ring, but neither does he seem completely opposed to the idea. Wrestling Straight Edge superstar went into detail about how things might play out if the stars align. From a creative mind standpoint, stepping back and looking at the landscape of everything, there are people in WWE that have wrestled before that maybe in a certain situation could be interesting. There's also the business side of things. It's the biggest possible match for CM Punk. I think there's Kenny Omega on the other side. Punk then turned to the WWE and discussed who his biggest opponent would be. The answer may surprise you. And you know, unfortunately, ironically enough, for me to go back to WWE, who's the biggest match for me? It's probably Triple H. That's ironic because it's nothing I'm interested in. It's just what it is. I'm going to be a businessman and say that's the match. That's the big money match. Well, it's not my money, so it's not for me to say.
Lewis. Can't put an end to the run. Still a double-digit game.
It's been over 7 years since Punk competed in the WWE, and there are so many top opponents besides Triple H.
The steal.
It's difficult to believe that Punk versus Triple H would be the big money match in the WWE. And remember, the Punk was supposed to face Triple H at WrestleMania 30, but he quit. Do you want to see that match? Or do you want to see a match against him versus Kenny Omega? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, up, why are you so confused watching WrestleMania 19's main event?
He gets the
Former
job done
WWE
almost
superstar
every
Max
time,
Stone
Vern.
tried watching
We're talking
WrestleMania
about a fellow
37's
with
main event between Edge, Reigns, and Bryan, but just couldn't finish it. Was the match overbooked or lacking in storytelling? Well, no. Storm tweeted his reasons why he had to tune out. Legit happens to be the main event. It was like fact. Dizzy headaches, all the camera cuts and shaking.
18
Watch
points,
it.
and he's the
And
top
we've
scorer
discussed
for
the
his
production team and their apparent belief they are avant-garde cinematographers. Although there's nothing wrong with the innovative production values and camera shots, the production team's number one priority is to capture the action in the ring and let the wrestlers tell their story. Hall of Famer Eric Bischoff recently commented on the WWE's excessive camera cuts. When you don't have the camera shooting in and out fake camera shots and all that other vertigo bullshit people do, just watch this and tell me if you don't think this makes the story feel more real. What do you guys think of the WWE's camera cuts? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, AEW cracking down on spoilers. Well, the pandemic has seen the return of taped wrestling shows, a situation which is good in that it allows promotions to continue
Just
running
over
events, a
16
situation
minutes
which has
left in the
been
second
bad
half.
because it means fans can learn what happened before the show airs. While some fans enjoy
gets it.
knowing what
Right
happened
wing.
ahead of time,
Presses it up.
promoters don't like it because it decreases ratings. It seems that AEW is now cracking down on
Snatches it
spoilers
down.
in the hope it can keep the
Might have
results
rushed
from
that
its
one
tape
just a
shows
little
the
bit. There was
secret.
plenty of
According
time
to
on
a
the
recent
shot
report
clock,
from
but he
Ringside
got a little
News, during the
overanxious.
recent Being the Elite, a sign was spotted backstage at
Release
David's
it.
place.
This
This one
crowd
sign between
couldn't be
two
any
race
happier.
board simply says,
Listen to the
spoilers
people in
cost
this
jobs, don't do it.
they go
The
up
report
by 7.
contains no information on what will happen
Number
to anyone
5
violating
ends it
the
off.
policy. It shows AEW considers a
Kennesaw
problem.
State. Call
Next up,
timeout.
Bo Dallas aligning himself with Alexa Bliss. Well, the rumors of Bo Dallas joining forces with real-life brother Bray Wyatt have been circulating for years, whether it was talk of Dallas joining the White family or Dallas appearing as a character on the Firefly Funhouse. But recent rumors even had some fans thinking Bo was the person portraying the extra crispy version of the Fiend at Backlash. While these rumors are borderline ridiculous, they continue to spread, with the latest coming from Sports Kid suggesting that WWE is planning to introduce him, Bo Dallas, somehow in an ongoing program between Alexa Bliss and Bray Wyatt on Raw. What do you guys think? Could this be Alexa Bliss's way to destroy and defeat the Fiend? Who else would be a good pairing with Alexa Bliss? Personally, I think Aleister Black would be, but then again, he has to be on television for it to happen. Next up, Andrade's first post-WWE appearance. Andrade will be making his first appearance since the WWE granted his request for a release which incredibly didn't contain a 90-day no-compete clause. Wrestling News' Andrew Ravens reports that the former US champion will make a personal appearance at Huntington Park, California's The Wrestling Guy store on 2nd May. There are a number of packages available for the meet and greet, with the highest being $80. So far, Andrade hasn't announced any wrestling appearances, but he did hint on social media that he signed a contract. Next up, why Edge cried at WrestleMania. WrestleMania 37 was an emotional event for the WWE Universe, as well as wrestlers themselves, not only because it was their flagship pay-per-view, but because it marked the first appearance of wrestling fans since 2020's Elimination Chamber. Newly crowned Raw Women's Champion Rhea Ripley talked to TV Insider's Scott Fishman about the experience and how it was, not only for her, but for veteran grappler Edge. It was crazy walking through the curtain and seeing the crowd and how excited they were. All my dreams were coming true. It was something I worked toward for a long time. I was trying to hold it all together, telling myself, don't cry. Then I look over to Edge near me and he has tears in his eyes. He nodded at me and winked. I just lost it. I could not hold it together. Edge and Ripley's experiences reinforced the incredible interaction between superstars and the WWE Universe. The connection between WWE fans and its superstars is uncanny, with wrestlers feeding off the fans' response as they react to wrestlers' personalities and performances. And finally, Charlotte Flair blasts a fan who criticized her appearance. Last but not least, Charlotte Flair is making it clear she doesn't care what snarky fans have to say about her physical appearance. The Queen returned to this week's Raw claiming to be the new Charlotte Flair and taking out Raw Women's Champion Rhea Ripley and Asuka. Someone took to social media criticizing Flair's appearance, commenting she looked like a stick figure drawn by a 3-year-old. The tweet was subsequently taken down, eliciting the following fiery response from Charlotte Flair. Lord help me if I ever listen to a man's opinion on how I should look. As we've discussed numerous times, wrestlers are in a lose-lose situation when it comes to addressing trolls. On one hand, they may feel they may have to respond, but at the same time, it encourages other trolls to attack them. There you have it, folks. The wildest wrestling news stories and rumors you need to know. Be sure to leave your comments down below. I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content. What is going on, guys? It is WrestleMania here, back with some more news. That's the first Raw after WrestleMania, traditionally a big night for the Red brand. What surprises and returns can fans look forward to? Well, not a lot, to be honest. But anyway, join us now as WrestleMania looks at the 12th April edition of Raw, as well as some of the latest wrestling news, including tragic news for Matt and Jeff Hardy. An AEW star was at WrestleMania, Reigns' next opponent, Bray Wyatt responds to Alexa Bliss's betrayal, and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. As always, we are recapping the matches, but just providing you with the good, the bad, and the downright ugly. As always, we start off with the good. Thunderdome set. WWE Thunderdome has been a success. Thunderdome has with success. Quite some interesting radical changes to the Thunderdome set.
Someone on the defense.
Center. Cosmetic changes.
Number 5 saw something that wasn't there. Throws it away.
Sometimes a pass like that can be the fault of the guy in the receiving end.
Just got that feeling.
Not that time.
Starting
That was just a bad look.
Raw has been starting off with too many interview segments, so last night's match between champion
doubled
Bobby
up.
Lashley and Riddle was a perfect
Number
way to
4
start off the
from
show,
downtown.
showcasing
Number
Lashley's
32
dominance
yanks it down
and
inside.
determination.
Nice
Albeit
work by the big
determination
fella
get
to
beat
get
up.
that rebound.
Unfortunately, things
Nice shot,
largely went
Captain.
downhill
Lewis.
from here. Number 3, Adnan Furk's commentary. Raw also got a shot in the arm on its commentary, with Adnan Furk adding in some much-needed fresh blood. While Samoa Joe has been doing an
They're going to try
outstanding
to
job of
disrupt the
color
flow of the
commentary,
offense
Tom
with this
Phillips and
half-court
Byron
trap.
Saxton added nothing to the show. We hope Burke and
Has it
Samoa Joe
on the free
gel.
throw line.
Number 4, the new
Number
Charlotte
4
Flair.
dumps it
The
off.
Queen is back.
Out the
Charlotte
basket.
Flair
And the foul.
Charlotte Flair.
Beautiful work to
Even though
fight
she's
through
still
that
the same
foul and get
proven
the rise
superstar
for these
determined to
free
claim the
opportunity.
championship by any means necessary. The interesting part about Flair's supposed new character is that the promotion is playing off
He
some
can't come
fans
away
and
with a
even
three-point
WWE
play.
superstars' complaints that Flair
tosses
is
it up court.
overpushed. This is a chance for Flair to renew her quest for the Raw Women's Championship while also creating conflict amongst the stars of the women's undercard.
Goes to
who
the
will hopefully
crossover.
get the chance
Lewis
to
passes
usurp her.
to the left.
Number 5, Kofi's
Takes it up.
DMX tribute. DMX's
The offensive rebound. Snatched down by Harris. Off target on the last layup.
The D really did his job there to make him change the shot.
Long rebound, run down by number
It's a subtle
32.
tribute that DMX fans undoubtedly recognized and
Hooker
appreciated.
puts it up.
Number 6 of the Viking Raiders return. Well, the Viking Raiders return is a
37%
massive
from
surprise
downtown.
for the universe. Many
Dangerous
fans were
pass.
hoping for Becky Lynch
Goes up.
or even Brock Lesnar to show up.
Snatched
It was still good to see
inside by
Eric and
Harris.
Ivar back
Right
in the
around
WWE.
14 minutes
Raw's
left in the
tag team
second
division
half.
needs more good
He attacked
teams.
it with
While the Viking
everything he
Raiders
had,
went
but it
as well
still
before
wasn't
Ivar's
enough.
neck
Good
injury,
defense,
the team
not letting
hopefully
them
now has a
jam it
fresh
home.
start. The Viking Raiders
To the
work well
elbow.
as a comedy act.
Bounces it to the
WWE may want
inside.
to consider
Hooker hits it from the low block.
into a dominant
And
duo.
they now trail
And
by
Bray's
2.
back. It was good to see the return of Bray Wyatt as a return for the first episode of the Firefly Funhouse in months, as a reborn Wyatt promised no more clout chasing and that he will return. Bray seems to tease a faith healer gimmick, which could be funny. It could also be Wyatt doing a one-night-only comedy bit. Whatever the case, fans will be interested to see what's next for Wyatt.
He misses the first.
This feud with Randy Orton has come to an end. That was good. And what about the bad? It's number 1, Rhea Ripley's pathetic promo. Rhea Ripley's reign as Raw Women's Champion got off to a bad start. It was a pathetic promo last night.
He sinks the
Ripley, an
second.
extremely talented wrestler, delivered
Harris
a natural
inbounds
promo
the ball.
that was just
Hooker
bad.
is
Some
1 assist
fans
short of a
claiming they look
double-double.
like the
Nice shot by
cue
number
cards.
32.
There's no excuse for this
so
lack of
smooth
skills
taking
in
it
the
in.
champion.
When a guy goes that hard to the
Blame.
hole,
They kept her in
somebody's
limbo
gotta
for
step
nearly a
in
year
and
after
stop
she
her.
lost the NXT Women's Championship. She spent time working with her to improve her stick skills. Number 2, tag team awfulness. Last night's Raw was an opportunity for the WWE to reset its awful women's tag team
Beat it
division.
to the wing.
Instead, they had Rose and
Number
Brooke
five
get
has
intentionally
it.
counted
Right
out in their match
side.
against the women's tag team champions, with Rose and Brooke stating, "It's just not worth it." The WWE's women's tag team division has turned into a joke that everyone is laughing at. Many
Leads him
fans'
with the
opinion,
pass.
it's just not worth
Puts
it.
it up.
Since
Went to the jam, but he
instead
got fouled,
watching it.
and he'll have a
Number
chance for 2
where were
at
the
the line.
champions? Raw presented a chance for WWE to present its new champions. But where was US champion Sheamus and Raw tag team champions AJ Styles and Omos? Rhea Ripley was the
Knocks
only
down the
champion
first
to
one.
get television time. It missed a great opportunity for other champions to cut promos congratulating themselves, running down the front
Gets the second
champions.
to fall as well.
It's safe to say most
Number
of Raw's
32
audience for
inbounds the ball.
WrestleMania
The
had some
Owls
momentum
on
for the
3 would
champions
tie the
wins
game.
by featuring them on television. Number 4, a
Pass it
wretched
to the
rematch.
paint.
Last night's
The
Raw
lay-in
featured
was
a
good
number of
by
examples
Harris.
of the Raw writing team's
He's got
laziness
6.
and lack of creativity, but none more than the decision to have Drew McIntyre go over Braun Strowman and Randy Orton to become WWE Champion Bobby Lashley's opponent at WrestleMania Backlash. Yes, that is what it's called. WrestleMania
Sizing up his
Backlash.
man.
Just give up on the hype train by now. Anyway, there's nothing wrong with Drew
Reed
McIntyre.
hands it
In
off.
fact, a Drew
Number
versus
4.
Bobby rematch should be spectacular. However, it's a rematch that needs to be saved for a major show like SummerSlam rather than a throwaway like Backlash. They should have given the match to Randy Orton, a
Shot
superstar who
clock
could benefit
dwindling.
from a major match after his disappointing feud with the
With the
Fiend.
shot.
Now, Raw wasn't a total
They roll
disaster,
this one
especially
goaltender.
compared to the last
Out the
2 weeks of shows, but it was a downright disappointment for the show after WrestleMania. Other than the WWE Championship picture, they did little to follow up on Mania.
The
While
Coastal
Alexa Bliss
Carolina
conflict
coach
glimpse into a
may
heel
have to
turn
deal
on
with
the
some
Fiend
chemistry
was
issues
underwhelming,
after
with
those
Bliss's new
substitutions,
dull friend
because that
really
gives them a
generating
pretty
more laughs than
inexperienced lineup
chills.
out there.
For those wondering why we didn't put that in the bag, it's kind of just in the middle. Hopefully, it'll get better.
Number 5.
It's the good, the bad,
Crosses
and
it
the
over.
downright ugly for
Grab
the Raw
by
after
number
Mania.
50.
Is this a Raw after Mania worthy show? Let us know in the comments down below on your thoughts. Now, let's move on to the news. Now, our first story unfortunately opens up with the tragic news for the Hardy Boys. There's sad news to report as Matt and Jeff Hardy's father Gilbert
Mustafa.
passed away on 6 April at the age of 87. Mr. Hardy passed away
Passes
at his
it to the
home
right
while
wing.
surrounded by his sons.
Number 4.
Matt recently
Good from
posted a message
downtown.
to their fans via
They
Instagram
got on this lane a
thanking
while
them
ago.
for their
They just
condolences.
haven't
Matt
looked
went on
back.
to say how his dad was the Hardy Boys' biggest critic when they decided to pursue a career in professional wrestling.
Hooker
They became their
dumps it
biggest
off.
supporters later on, and that he was proud to be the Hardy
Lewis
Boys' daddy.
gets it.
We'd like to
Left
send
side.
our condolences to
Look
both
at the
Matt and Jeff and
physicality.
the entire
Powered through the contact and hit.
Next up, Mr. McMahon changed
Number
the
2.
major
Got a
matches
quick
at
breather, but they
WrestleMania.
need him
It did
back on
not
the
cease
floor.
reporting that Vince McMahon changed the finishers to a number of WrestleMania matches, including at least 2 major ones.
Good for the
Meltzer
three-point
discussed
play.
the decision during a recent Wrestling Observer Radio with Brian Alvarez, saying, "I told you about 2 of them
Mustafa
the last day.
inbounds
2
the
of the
ball.
major matches, one finish was done on Saturday and the other was
They're
on
coming with a
Sunday.
little
One of
half-court
the
trap
finishes, the
defense
Randy
right
Orton
here.
finish, was changed on Sunday,
Feeds.
hours before
Perimeter.
the show. I think there were at least 3
Mustafa.
finishes changed. And fans are still fuming over the finish for the Randy Orton versus Fiend match.
Catches it
Awful
on the
ending
corner.
to their recent feud. It would be interesting to discover what other match finishes
Number
were
4.
actually
Throws
changed.
it out.
Next up,
Saves it
Roman
for
Reigns'
3.
next opponent.
These 3
Interesting
points
speculation
long
from
range.
Dave Meltzer concerning
Kennesaw
the
State
Universal
is
Champion
really
Reigns'
struggling.
next opponent.
Mustafa
Meltzer
gets
recently
whistled for
observed that
blocking.
former
That's his
Intercontinental
first
Champion
foul.
Biggie,
You've got to
who
establish
decided to
position
challenge the
early if you're
Chief.
defending
He is
Vern,
theoretically
and he just
en route
didn't
to
beat him
becoming
to the
built for a
spot.
Universal title program, but WWE booking usually means you lose your secondary title when you move up the card. As viewers know, and we discussed this possibility recently, I'm surprised if they don't squeeze at least one more match out of the
Hooker
Roman Reigns
beats
versus
it.
Edge
The
versus
high
Daniel
pitch.
Bryan program.
steal by
Who should
zero.
face Reigns
Oh,
next,
the
and should it be
quick
Biggie?
hands. He
If
put
so,
it in
should
the
Biggie be
one-hit
the man to
there. He
finally
made off
defeat
with that
Roman
one.
Reigns for the Universal
Leads him in.
Championship?
Goes
Let us
up.
know in the comments down
Great
below.
pass to
Next up,
lead him in.
fans were
Finish
upset
by
with the
Hooker.
12th April Raw.
But they're still
Ringside weren't
down
the
by
only
5.
ones disappointed with the post-WrestleMania Raw, as Ringside News recently polled readers about the recent Raw, with 19% giving the show a thumbs up and 81% giving it a thumbs down. The poll was
Reed
taken by over
inbounds the ball.
1,000 fans when this video was produced.
Zero.
Next
Passes
up, Bray
way
Wyatt
down
reacts to
court.
Bliss's betrayal. A fan's wondering
Right
if
wing.
Bray Wyatt would address
Reed
Alexa
takes the
Bliss's
shot.
betrayal at
Number 50
WrestleMania, but
keeps it alive
responses,
on the
although
offensive
neither
end.
one named Bliss
About
directly.
10.5
Wyatt
minutes
mentioned
left in
being
the
around
second
his
half.
real friends during
Lead
last
pass
night's
down
Firefly
low.
Funhouse
Puts it up.
episode, but also made
Snatched
an
off the
interesting
ball
allusion
by
via
number
Twitter.
4.
He got
tweeting a
free
picture
down
of
low, but that
Samson
turned out to
Delilah.
be a
You may recall
bad
Samson
miss.
was a hero in the Bible's Old Testament whose superhuman strength was due to his long hair. Delilah betrayed Samson when she learned his secret, cutting his hair,
Zero.
betraying him to his enemies, the Philistines.
Dishes to
Then
the
Alexa
corner.
discovered the source
Reed
of the
takes
Fiend's
it up.
power.
Hammer.
So what's next for
And he
Blitz
will go
and
to the line.
Fiend? And finally, an AEW star was seen at Mania. Last but not least, former WWE superstar Rusev, who now works in AEW as Miro, was spotted at this year's Mania. Miro's real-life wife tweeted, "Yesterday, I was surprised by Miro and Dad. My father supported all my decisions to get me here. My husband supported my decisions.
Can't
this
sink
year.
the foot.
Several
The
times.
Chanticleers
50 days,
are making
thousands
some
of miles
wholesale
from home,
changes.
So I could be closer to training. I'm a lucky woman." Miro tweeted back, "I will miss your match for the world. I love you." Although Lana and Naomi came up short in
It's
the
the
tag team
wrong time to start missing them with free throws, Vern. They sure would like to pad their lead.
Kennesaw State is really struggling.
Bad and the downright ugly.
Number 5 gets called for the reach, and that's his first foul of the game.
To know.
They need to be cautious, Vern. One more foul puts them over the limit.
Number 2 inbounds the ball. Hooker Lewis dumps it inside.
On April 7th. Ladies and gentlemen, it is the WrestleMania post show. I'm John Pollock, along with Wei Ting.
Wow, it's been an offensive showcase for
There's a
both
party
these
going
teams.
on. It is
What
WrestleMania Saturday, and the entire King community is celebrating WrestleMania. You know, the entire neighborhood is celebrating Bianca Belair's victory, clearly. So, excuse my microphone if you can pick up some of the music in the background. My neighbors are
Great pass. Just a second effort. Buries it despite the foul.
Yes.
We've got a shot at a three-point play.
He needs to make sure he gets a piece of the ball, too.
Execution.
He's gonna foul him
Severe
badly
weather
on the
conditions
attack.
that will be. This should be. Everyone should be able to do this. Like, this is an aspect, but it's not one that is practiced in WWE, where you're not doing all those
Outsider's good for a
promos every
three-point
week,
play.
and you're not. You don't have that leeway of performers of past generations, except
Inbounds the
for
ball.
several few. But I thought this was a very interesting spotlight on an aspect of the industry that was not second nature for others.
Dishes it to the high
I
post.
totally agree. So, you know, I guess if
on the
you want to
inside.
assess, you know, who
Can't
did
get the
well,
jumper
who
to
didn't.
fall.
I mean, certainly MVP,
Still a
I
two-point
thought,
lead.
was
The
tremendous, and I
Owls,
think,
they
you
can
know,
make
a
it
clear
even
reason
with the
why
score.
he was peaking right there.
Lewis
I
lets
thought
it
Drew
go.
sounded pretty good.
They're all
I
tied
think
up.
you can really trust him in
It's
these
now all knotted
situations
up.
to, you know, convey story while like feeling like a leader and speaking
Shoots
a
it.
lot about the fans.
Up,
I thought this
pass
was
out.
great.
By number 5.
We mentioned
And it's
Owens.
still all tied up.
Braun
104.
Strowman, maybe not as much. You know, he is somebody who did come through the ranks, probably not cutting
Swing
too many
pass,
improvised
right
promos,
wing.
or at least, you know, relying a lot more on scripted promos than, you know, having the chance to improvise. So I can't really say he did all that
Lewis.
well.
Shane
I know.
McMahon and
Top of the
Sarah
key.
Schreiber were just terrible together.
Number
Trying
1.
to- like,
Beats it.
yes, they were the first ones,
It's
but it was
one-on-one.
extremely clunky,
Number
and
5.
I
then
love to
MVP
see
and
that.
Lashley just
He was lurking around
thankfully
and
just
bounced.
relieved
Such
Shane
a
McMahon
deep
of
burn.
his interview time. I thought Seth Rollins was trying to be way too witty, and it was
Amidst the
just he
crowd,
was
he should
unbelievable.
concentrate on just getting
I thought
good
Seth was
position.
like, man,
Instead
I
of
thought
flailing away at
much
the
of the
ball like
problem.
that.
I thought he was going to do good. Because like, okay, well, he's not going to be scripted. This is a chance for Seth Rollins to cut like just the purely in character heel. Even if it
He
didn't,
makes it.
I was wrong. scripted or unscripted, that character is just bad. So,
He was like trying to make comedy of like
Gets the second and goal as well.
Patrick's name
Inbounds the ball.
just terrible. Yeah, it was very bad.
I will say I
Left
thought the
wing.
interviewers did
Passes
better
back
than
to
they
the left
usually
side.
do because they actually got to think about the questions
Skips
that
it
they
to
were
the left.
asking instead of
Look,
having to like,
goes up.
regurgitate some
Can't
stupid
put it in
premise,
to the right.
you know?
He must
like,
have thought someone
what-
was rotating over
what do you
to block that.
like?
You can't lose
What do you think
concentration
of?
even
Are you
for
going
a
to try to
second.
win tonight? You know,
Not
like it
free.
was actually there was
Dumps it
actually
off.
more thought put into everything, and I do wonder how much improvisation went on there.
You know who would have
Number
shined
10
in this
has it.
environment would
Outright.
be Renee Young.
Tosses
Like this
it
would
up.
have been in her wheelhouse
grabs
to
the
just
rebound.
command
They
these
got just
scenes
enough
with
pressure on him
all
to
of these
make him alter his
performers,
shot
but,
and force the miss.
I actually have not seen a WWE Network
And the foul.
and I don't think they put up the show yet. But I'm really curious what's up now. It seems like the whole thing is there. I was interested to see if they'll actually keep all of
He
this.
gets it.
There's no way they should edit it. It's just part of the story of
Knocked
this
loose.
WrestleMania.
And it's gathered up by Burns.
And it was not
Slams it
embarrassing in the least.
They're
Like,
now
I don't understand
by
why
three.
they're trying to
Just
clean
under
everything
7
up.
minutes
Yeah,
left
if it
in the
was
second half.
a finish that was like really awful, then okay, maybe. But this
Skip
was not
pass.
one of those
Down
things.
low.
This was like
Last shot laid in
organic,
by Lewis.
and it made for a very compelling
Use of the
TV.
bounce pass, Fern.
Yes to all those things. I will
Inbounds
remind
the
you of the
ball.
company that we are promoted to show.
Jones passes it up court.
Yeah, I just think there would be
Rises and dishes.
quite a bit of help. I mean, I do of course understand you know, like taking it like Ryan
That is
Piper,
his
blackface,
third
and
foul
things
so
that
far.
were embarrassing.
When he got
I
there
don't
in
think this
time,
was
it looked like he was leaning when the
Wait, they
contact
edit stuff
occurred.
all the time. Like, I mean, stuff that gets, you know, they'll do like voiceovers on stuff. I mean, they will clean up tons of stuff. Like botches
Yeah.
that they have cleaned up and stuff. It's,
Yeah, well, I guess this was such a long series
Takes
of
it up.
events, and I don't think
Lays
that
it right in.
embarrassing enough
by
that
three.
it would even be a match. If
Number
anything, I
five
think it's a
brings
great
it up.
showcase of the talent that you have that are able to improvise a little bit.
Catches it outside.
not so much embarrassing, more so just, I mean, you could look at it like from like a
Hooker
critical standpoint.
swings
I
it
guess
to the
it's just
wing.
like the start of your show. It's like 25 minutes of just dead time.
Far side.
Anyway, so that was the start of the
Maybe
show.
next
Very
He just didn't look
interesting
comfortable
start
in
with
that
this
shot,
delay.
Vern, and you can
I mean,
see
you
it in
look
the
at the weather
result.
reports. It's like there are definitely chances of rain tomorrow. Like this
Dishes to
potential
the top of the key.
more rain
Jones
tomorrow is
from
reality.
downtown.
So
He
we'll see what
rips
happens
down the
with
rebound.
weather.
Oh, the big
BB
fella
Rexa
with a tough
performed
rebound.
America's Beautiful.
No denying him
And
on
then
that one.
after the
That
break,
last shot was
it's
spiked
Titus
up.
O'Neil and Hulk Hogan coming out as the
Jones,
co-host of
way up
WrestleMania.
court.
And I saw some fan videos.
Shoots it up.
Hogan grabbed
He
the mic. There
snatches
was a
it off
pretty
the
vocal
glass. Hooker
amount of fans
brings it up the
that
floor.
were
Another
loudly
basket would give
booing
him
Hulk Hogan.
30
It wasn't
points.
everybody, but it was pretty audible
Harris
from some of
gets
the
it.
videos
Right
that I
wing.
saw.
Hooker
And
from
I thought this was
way
a very lengthy
downtown.
opening
Number
with
32
these two.
throws up, puts in
At
the
this
top of
point,
first
after the
layup.
rain delay, this was just
87% for the game.
time film. I felt like.
Harvey takes it
I mean,
up.
this was
There's a whistle.
always going to be there.
The strength. He fought through the foul.
This was
no
really their only
problem.
segment.
And
They
that
were
would give
not
him the
all over the
three-point
show. It
chance.
was here, and then they were in the back for one segment, and that was
No
about
good.
all they limited
Don't
it
get
to
the
for at least the
three-point
first
play.
half.
Which was not too different from,
Number
past
32
WrestleManias.
ends it
I
off.
think the hosting role typically just means
Harris
the people to
takes
come
it
to
up.
give the opening address.
He rips
And that's
down
what,
the rebound.
predominantly Titus
The
did.
break is
I thought
on.
Titus was
Leads
great.
him in.
Number
Number
22 came on
22
there full of
flips it
energy,
in for
even
two.
getting rained on. And
He's 7 for 11 for the game. Just over 5 minutes left
The
in the
other
second
guy,
half.
I don't think needed to
Harris
be there at all. Offers
has it.
nothing to the
Right
show
wing.
other than, I suppose, his music, which is like
Left
an easy
wing.
pop. But man, why?
Beats
Like,
it
I
to the
still
left
don't really
side.
understand the reason.
Harris
The other guy.
throws
Where's
it
he
up.
even at?
He snatches it
His
off
name.
the glass.
Tremendous
yeah, it
rebound.
was,
He
to
looks
me,
very comfortable under the glass.
Hey, what did you think of the crowd noise? Did you hear any like sweetening? What did you
Bounces
think?
it.
I
to the free
definitely
throw
saw
line.
people that were suggesting that there was
Jones has it
audio
on the
being piped
perimeter.
in.
Last
I guess
shot
I
missed
don't
from
have
three-point
the
range. Hooker
sensitivity
brings it up
to be
court.
able to
With
decipher
nobody
if
around,
there
he
was
still
piped in noise or not. I could certainly see that to make up for the lack of
Jones
crowd that is in
passes
such a
it up
gigantic
court.
stadium.
Number 22
So, yeah, I think that was a reasonable possibility. I just can't say
With
for
the
sure if
one-handed
that was the
slam.
case.
I'm definitely leaning
Up by
towards
three.
him doing it a little, quite a
Number
bit
five
here and there
from the
because
high
I just
post.
simply don't
Can't
think
get it.
with the
The
sound
big
that we
fella
heard
with a
is
tough
capable
rebound.
with
No
the
denying him on
smaller
that one.
crowd. Most of them, man.
Harvey
Like, I don't...
A fair amount, yeah. Like, there were
Jones
a lot.
passes
Like, you could
to the
see a
elbow.
lot of masks.
Left wing.
Were they
Number
mandatory?
22. Shoots.
They were
No
said
good
that you
for
have to wear a
3-point
mask
line.
inside.
But they
not
still
everybody-
lead by 3.
Well, it's
Number
again, what
5
is the
dumps
rule
it
and
off.
what is enforced are
Lewis
sometimes different.
with
You think they had
plenty of
arrows?
space. He rips
They had
down the rebound.
I would hope so, because
have
that
to
could
hit that.
certainly,
Hard
especially
to
when that
imagine
amount of
if you
people
get
have
a
to leave the
cleaner look.
stadium, some arrows would probably help directing people towards specific exits.
Dishes it to the left.
Yeah.
Burton beats it to the wing. Harvard gets it right wing.
If the arrow's pointing that
Number
way, that's the
22.
direction you go in. It's a pretty universal symbol.
Lets it go.
So out came
It goes straight out
Bobby
of bounds
Lashley
after
and
the
Drew
shot.
McIntyre to open the show for the WWE Championship.
0
And
is needed out on the floor.
I
Didn't
thought
get
it
much
took
of
them a
rest.
little while to get going because
Inbounds
we had
the
talked
ball.
about, man,
The
the
Owls
first
are
match,
3
this
will
crowd's
tie
going to
the
be
game.
electric, but I
They're
think the
bringing the
rain
double
delay
team.
killed any of that, and it took them some time to kind of capture this audience and kind of get their...
You figured it would be the opposite, too.
Has it
though, wouldn't you
on
think?
the
'Cause they
elbow.
waited so long.
Number 32
If
bounces
you
it
were out
to
there
the
in
left
the rain,
wing.
I don't know.
Outright.
You might have
Number
a
5
different reaction
with the
to things,
shot.
depending
He
on
grabs the
if they're soaking
rebound.
wet or not. I mean,
Coastal
not everyone had the
Carolina.
Samoa Joe
Ball's
effect,
time.
unfortunately.
They're in front by 3.
That was my
2:53
visual.
left in the game.
That was something else. When they cut to those two, it was like an SNL skit.
It's great. Set it all up.
Well, it looks like they're getting
Once
set
this
to
got
inbound
going,
the ball.
I thought these two were. This turned into a very good match. It was McIntyre selling for a long time, and then he built to his comeback. McIntyre was using the Kimura, which Michael Cole, we should note, was calling the show.
Swings it to
Byron
the
Saxton
wing.
and Samoa Joe. Wrestling Inc. had reported earlier in the day that Tom Phillips was off of tonight's show due to COVID protocols. It looks like Cole had
Number
to call
4
this
gets
entire
it,
show,
baseline.
and I would guess probably has to do the same
He
thing.
snatches it off the glass.
Well, thankfully, it was
The
a
Owls
3-hour
with
show,
the ball.
not a 7-hour
Look at the
show.
big fella pull down that board. When he sees
I
the
wonder
ball,
if
he isn't afraid to go
a
after it.
lengthy show and then come back. Would you rather just do it all at once and then you crash at the end, or would you just pace yourself and you do like he was really on the air here for almost 4 hours?
Nothing unusual. I mean, the man's done longer show.
Can't convert the 3-point play.
I mean, every Monday the man goes through that.
That's
So cool.
Hey, what do you know about that?
Inbounds the ball.
Only what the report was. So again, it was Wrestling Inc.
Takes it up.
reported
He had a
that
chance for a 3-point play,
Adnan Burke,
but
who
couldn't
is
get the
from
slam.
Toronto,
He'll shoot a pair
former
of foul
ESPN
shots.
host, is set to become the new lead announcer on Raw. I definitely asked around. I haven't been able to confirm it independently, but I mean that was Wrestling Inc.'s
Can't get the
report
first.
that he is set
Number
to
4
begin
didn't set the
on
long.
Monday.
He's coming back into
and
the ball game.
would be the new voice of Raw. So that's Adnan Burke is like a significant hire, like well-known, respectable,
back on the floor.
and as I mentioned, he was with ESPN for 9 years.
Intercepted. Double
No,
touches.
I don't know if I'm not familiar to know what his
They're down by 2.
wrestling acumen is. But again, in WWE, I think it's much more about how you acclimate to that system, especially when you are a broadcaster that has had a career at a high level in the industry, coming into a world where it's going to be very different when you have Vince McMahon producing you, and this is like Raw is the
Well,
ultimate
let's get
pressure
back to the action.
more so than
Number
an
4
NXT, for
is
instance.
back in the game after a short
always,
rest.
to me, I weigh who's going to succeed or fail based on what you come into, because it's going to be a drastically different experience. Number one, if you're not
Inbounds
a
the ball.
fan
Hooker
at the beginning,
brings it up the
and I
floor.
don't know,
Another
that
basket would give him
but if you're not,
30 points.
you don't kind of have that kind of
Fouls him.
stars in your eyes when you're coming in, and it's all of a sudden you're thrown into this deep end, and it can become a very stressful job. And there's others that have thrived in it. So I mean, we'll know what happens, but I'm always interested when it's someone that's come from a very successful background into that world and how they act.
Number 4 is needed
All the
on
pieces
floor.
here
After the rest.
don't give you that much optimism. And it's nothing about like the talent of Adnan Burke, who I don't know really all that well, but I can understand he's
splits the free
incredibly
throws.
talented in his own way. This
Number
is a
4
completely different
tosses
game.
it up court.
And man, I do think
Catches it
I
on the
like to see it.
perimeter.
I keep an open mind. But man, we've seen so many instances
Number
of this,
4
and people
dumps it
decide
to the middle.
to do this job and just not lasting all that long. So man, we'll see how it turns out.
So as the match progressed, Drew McIntyre was working for the Kimura, and they were linking that back to the match with Brock Lesnar. He set up for the Claymore, but ran into a choke slam.
It's one-on-one. He's giving it all
starts
today.
chanting, "This is awesome." This was going into the WWE Spotify list for the crowd resurrecting my favorite chant.
Dishes to the left wing.
Things are really clicking at this point. Lashley slid to the floor, avoiding a Claymore, and took a Tope Con Hero. And then McIntyre escapes a hurt lock, running Lashley into the block. And then McIntyre goes for another Claymore and gets stopped because MVP yells something from the floor. This was just kind of clunky. I don't know if MVP should have been grabbing at McIntyre or actually getting on the apron, because I don't know what would have held you up so much of what he really had. So it was a little...
It didn't really help that so it was mid-Claymore, so he stopped, and then Lashley was so stopped. When I think Lashley was maybe supposed to... I don't exactly know, but this was meant to be a pretty pivotal spot. This was the key moment of the match. Lashley gets the hook lock on. Drew McIntyre fell on the Piper spot on Austin, where he kicks off the turnbuckle to flip over. Lashley keeps the hold zero. As he has it down on the mat, the referee calls it off. And Michael Cole made it crystal clear. Drew McIntyre did not give up. He went out cold. 18 minutes and 10 seconds, and a lot of people were surprised by this finish. I was not one of them. We talked about all the reasons. It's Drew McIntyre winning. There are no heels on Raw other than rematches with Lashley, because Sheamus is done.
Inbounds the ball.
Not to say you couldn't have done it,
9-second differential between the
I'm
shot
fine
clock
with this. I
and
think
the
this
game
feud continues. I think this is certainly not the finality
Off
of this
target
program,
on the last
because it's
play.
not like Lashley has a smooth babyface of either in the meeting. So I think you can get more out of this. I immediately thought was something like a quit match, or something where he has to verbally submit to that. Maybe they can revisit or something. But I thought overall good match, but definitely it was definitely a performance from our team.
Got to be feeling good with the 3-point lead.
I thought it was a good, standard WWE main event match.
Every possession is critical now,
that's not to say
they can't afford to come away empty.
Bad, but I can say
Hands
it
it off.
probably wasn't all that memorable for me. There's really nothing about this match that I think stands out. And I don't really think I'll remember it come next year. But I think for an opener, it was perfectly
20th rebound in this one.
His work on the boards has been beyond belief today.
come out when I
Forget
think
about
first
everything else
entrance
going on.
significant.
Just having a
To me,
ball
the finish
watching
was
them attack the
I
champ.
think so many of us just think that, okay, we didn't get his WrestleMania moment in front of the crowd last year, he's going to get it this year. But instead they went with Bobby Lashley.
Couldn't put the dagger
Done
in.
a
At
tremendous
least he
job
made
with
it a
it. So for me, this was a
two-possession
pleasant
game.
surprise, because Lashley,
Jones
I really want to see,
gets it.
have an extended run with this thing, rather than having it just simply extinguished.
Great rebound. The
a
big
big moment
fella's
for
not
Drew
afraid
like
to
this.
do the dirty work,
I think Drew was probably going to be way better than Chase anyway. So
We're in the
it
double
was
bonus, so they'll
finish
go to the
I
line
didn't
for two
expect,
shots.
because coming into this WrestleMania,
Takes the first one.
before the run, it really felt like Drew was still the lead character, the lead babyface, and instead he loses the match, which was not something that we
Perfect in the line. And it's a 6-point ball game.
I think so too. I think it's more interesting this way. I mean, the promo on Raw certainly led you to believe that Drew has to win this
Inbounds
match.
the ball.
But I think you can. I like the
Tosses
way
it up.
that the finish went.
Can't stop the run.
Really preserves football.
They're in the double bonus.
I think there's a
They'll go
lot
to the
of
line
value
for two.
to Lashley as champion beyond just whatever it's been, 6 weeks since he won the title.
Gets the first. That makes it a 7-point lead.
In the back, Titus O'Neil is hanging out with the NWO.
And it's an 8-point ball game.
She's just playing her over-the-top character. She wants to two-sweep them, and they're pretty much all just blowing her off, except for Sean Waltman, who
Off
does.
the inbound pass.
He's a fan.
Can't get it to go.
Two sweeps her.
It was nice of him.
That's
Waltman
all for
seems like
this
the
one.
only decent dude here,
The Owls
amongst the
defeat
NWO.
Coastal Carolina,
Actually give respect to this
132
very
to
talented
124.
person. I don't know
And now it's time
when
to
they
show
planned
you
all this
our
stuff with Bailey,
player
but
of the
it really
game.
felt like they were just trying to cram her into the show without much, thought. Between this and the Hall of Fame induction later. Yeah, I could see her like potentially having a similar role tomorrow, where she's just kind of thrown in as kind of this roving personality that interacts with everybody.